Hey there everybody, it's markcrilley. You know, today is a very special day. It is the 10-year anniversary of my first YouTube video. I got this package in the mail from the good people at YouTube. I have a feeling I know what it is, but I decided not to open it, along with you guys here as part of this video so that we could share the moment together. It's pretty exciting, guys. 10 years, all leading up to this moment. Let's see. Look at that. There it is. I want to zoom in so you guys can sort of read along with me here. YouTube hereby offers its sincere congratulations to markcrilley upon his successful completion of 10 years of making the same stupid joke about blushies again and again and again. Well, you know, it'll still look good hanging on my wall, right? From a distance. Alright, well, my apologies for that goofy opening segment there. I couldn't resist doing something a little silly to get started with this video. But one thing is not a joke, and that is the fact that this is indeed the 10-year anniversary of my first YouTube video. It was March 10th. 2007. In fact, why don't we have a quick little look at a clip, the way that that video opened exactly 10 years ago today.
Alright, well, this is one of the first pages that I did for Meeky Falls when I was first starting out.
Well, from such meager beginnings, it's kind of astonishing to think I survived for even 1 year, let alone 10. But this whole video, I'm going to be working on this illustration idea that I came up with, a sort of commemorative chocolate bar celebrating the 10-year anniversary. But mainly it's going to be about showing little clips like the one you just saw, taking a little stroll down memory lane. In fact, let's get to this first one. I'm going to name a primary pick for each year. For the year 2007, I have selected how to add shading to a manga drawing. Let's have a quick little look at it.
Okay, well, I thought I'd try something a little different here and do a live drawing demonstration as I work on one of the pages, one of the final pages for Meeky Falls.
So, yeah, another fairly lackluster performance, but the reason that I selected that is because it was the very first video in which I started drawing while videotaping. And it was the first one where I noticed a big jump in views, and I thought, wow, they like it when I draw and talk at the same time. And so that was kind of a revelation to me. I stopped making so many videos that were just about hyping my new manga series, Meeky Falls, which you saw, you know, in that first video. That's what it was all about. I started making more instructional videos that were teaching something about drawing, and boy, that made all the difference. It sort of determined the future course of the entire channel. I don't want to talk too much about any one of these videos because it could otherwise go on for quite a long time. I think there's going to be 24 different clips in all. So let's move on to the next one right now. It is a runner-up for 2007, How to Draw Manga Eyes 4 Different Ways. Video talking, but basically I'm going to be doing 4 different ways of drawing manga eyes here. So I'm going to zoom in on the first one, and because I'm trying to do so much in one video, I'm going to do a lot of time lapse, but I am going to come back and talk about what I've done. So let's just go ahead and get on with it. So, yeah, still had quite a ways to go in terms of my delivery there. And did you notice how I would zoom in, just shaking the camera around? Also, no music during the time lapse. It's sort of interesting to look back and see how rudimentary a lot of these videos were. But that was kind of my first hit video, I would say. I don't remember how many views it got initially, but that How to Draw Manga Eyes 4 Different Ways really kicked off a whole series, you will see, of eye-related videos that continues to this day. Let us go ahead and jump on to the next one. 2008 was a big year for me, and this one is maybe the most time-consuming video I've ever done, even now. 100 Ways to Draw Manga Eyes. Now, I'll bet many of you remember that video. In fact, some of you may remember all of these videos, and if you do, hats off to you. You are among the most dedicated viewers that I have. And for some of the newer viewers, this will be maybe a nice way of having a look at my early work all in just one video real quickly. And you sort of seeing them side by side, you see the progress in terms of my delivery and stuff like that. One thing about 2008 I want to say, because I chose 3 different videos for the year 2008 to give you a little peek behind the scenes. During the year 2008, I was kind of severely underemployed, and that resulted in me having more time for making YouTube videos, and maybe the prime example of that was the 100 Ways to Make Manga Eyes. It took me a number of days to complete, even though I sort of presented it almost as if it were all done in a single marathon session. Yeah, sadly, as my other work became more successful, I had to cut back on the amount of time that I was able to devote to any individual YouTube video. I say sadly, but happily, because I was much better able to feed my family, which is the most important thing, really, from my point of view. In any case, let's move on to the first of, I think I have 2 runners-up for the year 2008. This one, 20 Ways to Draw Chibi Emotions. So you can see that I finally started to use music. People had requested, hey, how come you don't put any music in during the time lapse? And because I knew that copyright infringement was a big problem for YouTube, that's when I started making GarageBand music. And you'll also hear, hopefully, some progress as time goes on, as I got better at putting together these GarageBand loops and remixing different copyright-free music to make, hopefully, slightly more listenable music than that. But I'm still kind of proud of those videos, the 100 Ways to Draw Manga Eyes and the 20 Ways to Draw Chibi Emotions. Kind of regret that it's no longer possible for me to pump so much time into any individual video, but I'm glad that I had the chance back in 2008 to do such a thing. Let me show you one last thing from 2008, the Miki Falls webcomic, Freshman Year. Yeah, maybe not my finest moment in terms of GarageBand music. What was I thinking? But anyway, that was a fun little video, making this sort of almost motion comic kind of thing. And again, kind of a shame that I wasn't able to continue with that. I had a plan to try to do more such videos, but those are incredibly time-consuming. So sadly, it becomes a sort of a museum piece in my history. Now it's time to turn to 2009, and without question, far and away, the most successful video I have ever done, probably ever will do. It is how to draw a realistic eye. Yes, that video has had more than 26 million views. I really can't explain it, to be honest, why that one out of all of my videos became so popular, but it sort of shows that you cannot predict these things, and it is not necessarily related to the amount of time and effort that you put into something. Certain videos just take off, and that was one of them. Notice no music in that one. Sort of interesting that I didn't even bother to add music to it, but people sure did love watching that video, and it continues to get many comments year after year. Let's move on to the runner-up for 2009, How to Draw a Manga Eye Line by Line. And now we're going to start to indicate, and I don't know the technical word for these, but there are these little lines within the human iris, and maybe someone can comment, someone who knows the actual word for these things. But I'm just sort of having them fan out. I don't have the lines quite touch the pupil. Notice that there's a little gap between the pupil and the lines. So you can see why I chose that video. It is, in fact, the video from which I chose my icon that I use and have used now for pretty much the entire 10 years on YouTube, and that's why I decided to work it into this illustration here of the commemorative markcrilley chocolate bar. Let's go ahead now and move on to 2010. This one is one of my favorites from all of my videos, markcrilley's 100th video. Yeah, I never did do another one quite like it, taking the words thank you in as many different languages as I could find and combining them into a single video. I did make some spelling mistakes, and I certainly left out a lot of languages, and people were like, how come you didn't include, whatever their individual country was? Do you hate us? Are you trying to say something? Anyway, that's one of the pitfalls of doing trying to bring together languages of the world, but I'm glad I did it. I had a lot of fun doing that video. Let's move on now to the next one. This is the runner-up for 2010, female body proportions. So, a lot of the videos that I've chosen from each year are kind of the ones that stick out in my memory, but I wanted to make sure I got at least one that represented the sort of workhorse videos of tutorials, things that teach something, and that video certainly represents that part. It's the real mainstay of my channel, and unfortunately, when I look back, the ones that pop out are these sort of flashier videos. So my apologies if you don't see your particular favorite out of my videos that you've seen. Let's move on now to 2011, the Realism Challenge #1, crumpled paper. Yes, the Realism Challenge. Little did I know that I was launching a future book by doing that video, in a way, because it was the success of that initial Realism Challenge video and a later one, which is going to also be featured, that led to me being able to do a book called the Realism Challenge. So I wanted to make sure I put that one in there. The first one really quite humble, as I was kind of figuring out the technique. I think by way of the next one that you see, you're going to see considerable improvement in terms of figuring out how to do it in the best way possible. Let's move on to 2011, How to Draw an Angry Chibi. This one I chose not because of the video itself, but because of the way it starts.
Hey there everybody, it's markcrilley. I'm back with another How to Draw video. It's Saturday morning as I film this. In fact, I'm just pouring myself a little morning coffee. And we're going to get the day started off with a sip. Oh yeah. And also a how to draw video. I'm going to be drawing a chibi character.
So yeah, I had to include that one. It was sort of a turning point for my vantage point because I was finally starting to loosen up to the degree that I started doing silly, goofy things, like taking a sip of coffee at the beginning of a video. Never really have returned to that. Let me know in the comment section if you want me to start drinking things at the beginning of my videos. But let's move on to 2012. Indeed, it is the Realism Challenge number 3, Playing Card. Now this was definitely a significant video for me. It's the only video I've done that I would say actually went viral, which is to say got an incredible number of views in a very short amount of time. That the other, the Realistic Eye video clocked up over time the 26 million views and became my record holder. But the Realism Challenge playing card video got, linked to on lots of different sites, and it just really, there was kind of a fever pitch when that video took off. I remember it well. It was end of September, I think, of that year, and yeah, just it was a thrill. And that time, I suppose I would say I was ready for it. I put a lot of effort into that video. I had faith that there was something interesting about it, about seeing that playing card get torn into pieces and so forth. But even I could not have predicted how far it would eventually go. Let's move on to the runner-up from 2012, 100 Hearts, a time-lapse challenge. So yeah, that one always holds a special place for me out of all the videos I've done. It really is not a drawing video. I suppose I drew one or two of those hearts, but the concept came to me of creating all these different heart shapes. And it wasn't like a huge success in terms of views, but I was very pleased, especially if you go and watch it. And I have put a link to all of these videos in the description of this video. Also, I've made a playlist I'm planning to that you can just go to and see them all one after the other if you want to see the original vids. That one ends with my son drawing one of the hearts. That would be number 99, and then my daughter drawing the 100th of the hearts. So yeah, that one definitely is one that I'm kind of proud of when I look back and stroll down memory lane as I am doing so self-indulgently today. Let's move on to 2013, How to Draw a Kitten. So yeah, at a certain point I started doing videos about how to draw animals. In a way, my channel's whole story is one of starting with manga style, anime style artwork, and then expanding gradually to hopefully a wide variety of different topics. And I thought that in a way I could pay tribute to both in this video with the manga style eye here, and then more of like a realism challenge type of illustration over here. And of course chocolate, which you always have to pay tribute to no matter what. Let's move on to 2013, Self-Portrait Eyes. Probably the closest I've ever got to real photorealism on this channel. And that the piece of music, the GarageBand music on that one, remains a popular one, highly inspired by the Art of Noise Moments in Love. I call it Moments in GarageBand. So let's move on to this next one, which is really going to be unusual in terms of all the other videos featured here, because this one is not on my channel. And I would predict that a good many of you have never seen it. It is the anamorphic can of Coca-Cola. So yeah, the Coca-Cola company actually hired me to create not just one, but 3 different videos back in 2013, and that was, I think, the most impressive of the 3. The only time I ever did an anamorphic illustration like that. Maybe I can return to that. Let me know if in the comments section. But if you have not seen that video, do look for the link in the info box of this video. I would love if more people saw that one, because it took so much time. Oh my goodness. The amount of time that it took to create that illustration so as to make it look like an actual 3-dimensional Coke can. Very tricky stuff, and I couldn't have done it if not for the sort of model anamorphic photograph that Coca-Cola gave to me, because I was certainly no expert in doing such illustrations, and that really helped me to figure out the right proportions and so forth. Let's move on now to 2014's pop-up Valentine card. So that was when I hit upon the idea of trying to do something a little more like a craft project, paper craft, I guess you would call it, and that launched a whole series of such videos. Of course, the #1 comment was that the music was used by Cooking with Dog. Little did I know when I chose that music, it was like the #1 comment, hey, that music is from Cooking with Dog. So again, it's the law of unintended consequences on YouTube. Let's move on to the next one, my runner-up for 2014, white pencil on black paper. So that's another example of me sort of, trying to stretch out and do something different. I hit upon that idea of doing white lines on black paper. I've done maybe, 2 more videos? It's maybe high time I did more in that style. But let's move on to the next one. From 2015, it is the 1-point perspective subway interior. So yeah, that's another one that represents the tutorial side of things, really the mainstay of my channel. You might not know that from this video, because I keep picking the unusual, exceptional videos, but really almost everything that I do is trying to teach something, except for this video today, where all I'm teaching you is how much I love to pat myself on the back and celebrate my old videos. Hey, it's only once every 10 years, guys. Can I get away with it? Let's move on to the runner-up for 2015, GarageBand Music Mixtape, Volume 1. yeah, I couldn't resist throwing that one in there. The music has really become a part of what I do here on YouTube, and I'm always delighted when someone says that they like a particular track. And just recently I completed the second in that series. If you missed it, you can also check that out. I guess I'll toss in a link for that after all the other ones down there in the description. Let's move on now to last year, 2016. We're getting more recent. How to get better at drawing. 10 things that worked for me. To the last of my pieces of advice, number 10. If comparing your art to that of other people is bringing you down, then stop doing it. Your work doesn't need to win contests, impress people, or be conventionally beautiful. I wanted to get at least one statement in here of sort of reassurance for people who are not pleased with the way their art looks compared to other people. So yeah, I included this one mainly as a way of representing a certain type of video that I do, 10 tips to help you, this kind of thing. I wonder what the first of those would have been, but I began to consider the fact that I could do videos that went beyond just teaching a particular drawing technique to giving advice, and certainly that's... that video, compared to a lot of from recent years, that one really took off and got over a million views, and it seems to have helped a lot of people. So I'm really glad I started doing that type of video, and wanted to make sure that there was at least one representing it here today. Well, we're getting really close to the last one. This will be the second to last one. My runner-up for 2016, the 10-minute, 1-minute, 10-second challenge. Go, go, go. You've only got less than 15 seconds left. Time is a-wasting. Ooh, I should have started much more quickly than I did, but it's time to stop. There you go. So yeah, that one's sort of interesting. I wouldn't say it was a viral video, but it certainly is the first challenge video that I did that took off and inspired people to do their own version of it, you know, to sort of take up the challenge. And right now I've made a playlist of all the different people who've taken on this 10-minute, 1-minute, 10-second challenge, and it comes to more than 100 videos. I find it hard to believe. But yes, that one certainly captured the imagination of a lot of people, and my boundless gratitude to everyone who decided to take me up and, you know, spread that concept far and wide. It really was a thrill to see how many people, and you know, a lot of people putting their own spin on it and doing really interesting things with the concept. Well, that brings us now to 2017, the year that has not even finished yet. I'm going to go ahead and just pull one from this, the first few months of this year. 1 character, 3 hairstyles. All right, well, that brings us right up to the present day. I'm not going to do a runner-up for the year 2017. The year is not even done yet. But I'll tell you what needs to be done yet is this video. Unfortunately, the illustration probably needs just a few more touches, so I'm going to bring in Old Man Time-Lapse to help me one last time for this first decade here on YouTube, and he's going to help me speed through the final touches on this illustration. All right, well, that brings us to the end of this special 10-year anniversary video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I want to make sure I say thank you to all of you who watch my videos, whether you just started within the last couple of weeks, or indeed some of you have been watching from the very beginning, and I just want to tip my hat to you. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. YouTube has really changed my life, and when I say that, what it means is you people, you who watch these videos, who leave comments, who have been so supportive over the years. You have changed my life, all for the better, and I never stop being grateful for that. But I think it is time for me to lay down this pencil. I want to thank you all for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. And I'll be back with another one real soon.
Oh, and there's my daughter, Mio. Let's turn the camera over here. Oh, she's a lot more fun to look at than my artwork. How you doing, Mio? Are you being a sweet baby? Isn't she adorable? Say bye-bye, Mio.